So hello everyone, and in this video we'll be continuing further in our Redux playlist, and in this video we'll be coding our files which we had made in the earlier video. In that video I had discussed the structure which would be common in all your Redux uh, projects. So this video would be regarding the code of what actually happens in these files. So in reducers, first of all we'll go to amount reducers, and here we'll specify that what changes must occur, right? And we can just, before this as well, we can go to this action creators, because then you will be able to understand what is happening. So in this index.js file, in action creators, as I told earlier, that these action creators are responsible for telling us, maybe, right? You can understand that for telling this reducers, maybe, right, that what they have to do, right? What task is to be done. So I'll say export const, as we are discussing this in terms of money, this balance. So we'll say const deposit money, right? When we click on plus, it should deposit money. So we'll say deposit money, and it will take the amount which we want to deposit, right? And here we'll say return whenever this function is called, or this is called, dispatch. This dispatch is actually responsible for actually doing the task, right? It is a, you can say, in easy language you can say that this dispatch performs the task which we want to accomplish, right? So we are saying that whenever this is deposit money is called for, an amount is passed, so it should return a function, right, which what it does, it dispatches. And what does it dispatch? It dispatches this information, which is that type is deposit, and payload, that payload is amount, right? And exactly the same things we will add for withdraw money, which would be responsible for decreasing this. So we'll say everything actually would remain same, but here the type would change, and which would become withdraw. And we'll hit save. So now we would be coming to this reducers folder, and we'll go to amount reducers, and this is where we'll add our code. So here we'll say const reducers, or reducer maybe, is equal to, and we'll say state. If no state is given, right, then what it should do is, this reducer function is actually a function. This constant reducer is a function actually, and if no state is given, then in the beginning it should be 0, because we will change this 1000 to 0 if nothing is specified against this, and there would be an action. And you may remember that I told you that action, what is action? Action is just that what task is to be performed here. So we'll create this arrow function here, and we'll say this if action dot type, which we have mentioned in this action creator, is equal to deposit. If this is equal to that, we have to do something, and as you remember we have two actions. So we'll say else if action type is withdraw, then we have to do something, and we'll have a statement for else as well. So now we'll be adding what we'll do. So if action.type is deposit, then what we'll do it, we'll return state, the actual state, plus action dot payload, whatever payload is mentioned there, right? And which is actually amount. So amount would be added to that, and we'll go to reducers and we'll copy this, because this will be same, but the only difference with withdraw is that it would subtract. And here we'll say if nothing of these are given, so return state just as it is, return state, right? And at last what we'll do is export default reducer. So we would export this reducer as well, and we'll hit save. So now in this index.js file, what we'll do is actually, because in here we just have a single reducer, right? Because we have actually two reducers, first is deposit and we have withdraw, and we have that in a single file. So for that we'll use combined reducers here. So we'll say import combined reducers, and it would appear here. This is coming from Redux, and we'll say import amount, sorry for that, amount reducer from amount reducers, right? The name is amount reducers, so that is why, yes, definitely no changes would be here. And here we'll say const reducer is equal to combine reducers, and here we'll say amount is equal to amount reducers. So this code is finished. Just we'll export this default reducers, and we hit save, right? So we'll go to our, this is done, and then these two are left, index.js and store. So as I mentioned earlier, this store is nothing but, this actually contains all the information about what task should be performed, what state it is, what things must be done when one kind of payload should be there. So actually the store contains everything inside our Redux state, right? So we'll be going inside that, and what we do is, first of all we'll go to this index. Yes, first of all we can just manage the store, and here we'll do a few things which would be like import. First of all I'll be importing these, and then I'll explain what is happening. Apply middlewares, which is a Redux function, which, and again we'll say create store, and this arrow is appearing here. We'll discuss what can be used instead of these, because if you click here it says that configure store should be used. We'll use that later, right? For now we'll be using create a store, and then we'll say import thunk from, if you will just write thunk, I think it appears, yes, and import reducer. right? So we'll hit save, and at last we'll say export constant store is equal to create a store. You can copy that from here, and inside this we'll say reducers. This create a store function would have reducers reducer maybe. This empty braces is for all the middlewares which would be used, but we are not using any, so we will not specify that. And we'll say apply middleware, and in this we'll say thunk, and we'll hit save, right? And now the only thing which is left is this index.js file inside our state. So we'll do nothing here except we'll say export all from, okay, sorry, as action creators from, we'll be taking that from action creator dot slash action creators slash index. So our state is done, nothing is there to be changed here. Now the only thing which we would be concerned about is how we can change the states through these buttons. So in the next video we'll discuss that. Thank you for now. Meet you in the next video.